Hey guys, my name's Ben Howard. We're out here at Century Park to play around with the weirdest discs out of my collection. I didn't throw anything in here that flies weird, like the chain breaker or ambush, stuff like that. Mainly just went for discs that feel weird or look weird. But first, we're going to be starting out with probably the most normal disc out of all of them. This one being the Luft Hydrogen. This one's a one speed, but this actually has a ton of glide. The main thing that makes this weird is, as you might be able to tell, it's just super deep. Doesn't feel crazy deep in the hand, but definitely is noticeable. This one's probably going to be my putting putter and probably one of my main throwing putters, just because this thing has a ton of glide and wants to go really far. Uh, I had to put the Halo Sonic in this video. I'm not going to throw it too much, probably, just because as you can tell, the next disc is going to kind of do the same thing as this one. But as y'all know, it's got the groove track on top, got the weird like bump in the middle to where this top's really flat. Nice, glidey, slow approach disc. Nothing crazy. And we've got our first superclass disc. This one being a Zephyr, I believe. Yeah, Zephyr. This one's probably one of the most unique discs out of all of them because, like I said, superclass discs. All of these discs fit inside of this one, and it's not crazy deep, but it's also got this weird groove track on the side. Like like the Sonic and the Hydrogen, it's actually surprisingly stable, but probably just going to be using this for close approach shots. Nothing crazy. Then we've got probably the most famous unique disc, Innova Alien. Just a nice straight, kind of a hybrid between a mid-range and a putter. It has a little bit of overstability to it, but overall really nice disc. And yeah, I'll go ahead and show you the side profile for that. Then we've got our second super class disc. This one being the Innova Scorpion, the Halo edition. These are pretty sick. But like I said, super class. This one's not quite as big as the Zephyr, obviously, but you can see this disc hides completely behind this one. This one's actually 186 grams too. But probably the most unique thing about this is you can tell it's almost got like a 9 speed, like a 7 speed rim. But I don't know if you really tell or not. It's got two beads. You got one bead here, one bead on the rim. This thing's actually kind of overstable, but Innova has this listed as a 5 speed, and I would say this is closer to like a 6 or 7 speed, but I'm really looking forward to throwing this one because I haven't really thrown it too much. That one's going to be fun. And our last disc is the 14 speed Luft Boreum. I'm trying not to show my phone number on this one, but main thing that's unique about this one, so you can kind of tell, is the rim is completely rounded off. So in the hand, it doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence. Feels like it's just going to kind of slip right out. But this thing flies really nice, goes really far. Not really a 14 speed, honestly. I think people have measured the rim and it's closer to like 11 speed. But definitely goes really far, has a nice flight to it. Just kind of, if I hit it flat, just wants to turn and then flex out. So I'm going to be using this for a lot of my bomber shots out here. But yeah, like I said, that's everything. So let's go and get in the video. All right, guys, we're on hole one. It's a par three, 264 feet. Baskets through this gap, tucked off to the left. I'm going to go with the Innova Alien first, and I'm going to throw two off this tee just to get warmed up. Oh, nice headwind, too. Ooh, I flipped a lot more than I was expecting. That's fine. I'll do one more. Go with the Scorpion on this one. Same tree. So I underestimated that headwind, especially now that I'm down here. That wind's pretty strong. But go with the Zephyr. Trying to do a little hyzer shot with it. Shouldn't flip, so we should be okay. But we'll find out. I flipped a little bit, but that's fine. Just kind of went straight too. There we go. Whew. All right, guys, we're on hole two. This one's a par three, 260 feet, just dead straight ahead, basically. I'm gonna go with the Scorpion out to the left on some anhyzer, see if I can get bend around these two trees, but ultimately flatten out and push forward. Kind of, the wind's kind of turned into a tailwind, so this should kind of help a little bit, but just got to make sure I give it the right height and right angle. Ooh, that's a lot more stable than I'm giving credit for. But I think that's a putt. Didn't get there at all. All right, guys, we're on hole 3. This one's a par 4, 410 feet. Basket's up this way, up on top of the hill, slightly tucked off to the left. This isn't really one I can reach, so I'm just going to take the Boreum and put it on some hyzer, see if I can get to stand up into that gap, push forward, and just hit on the side of the hill and try and give myself an easy approach shot. Ooh. Sit down. Don't go too far left. Okay, that's fine. Not quite as far as I would have liked, but kind of felt like we had a little bit of a headwind on this hole, so I'll take it. Probably have like a 150, 100, 200 foot approach shot, something like that. Okay, so I don't know why I said 150 to 200 feet. This is probably not even 100 feet. So I'm just going to chip it up with the hydrogen, give it a little bit of hyzer, a little bit of height out to the right, get it skip up to the basket. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah. All right, guys, we're on hole 4. This one's a par 3, 210 feet, just dead straight ahead. I'm going to try the hydrogen on this one, throw it flat right at the basket. If I give it the right amount of height, this could be an ace. So, see what we can do. Same amount on hyzer. Dang it. That's fine. It'll be like a 25-foot putt. Dang, I want the ace though. Oh man, I thought it was gonna drop a little bit. It didn't drop at all. All right, guys, we're on hole 5. This one's a par 3, 205 feet, just dead straight ahead. I'm gonna try something a little different. Typically, I would go for a forehand, like skip shot on this hole, but I don't really have a disc I feel comfortable doing that with. So I'm gonna take the Zephyr and throw it out to the left through that gap and just see if I can get it to either hold straight or turn over a little bit through the gap. I'm not really too sure what it'll do. That's the main reason I want to throw this, just to kind of feel it out and see what it'll do. Okay, change of plans. We got a headwind, so I'm going to go with the hydrogen again. Give it a little bit of turn out of the hand. Just see if I can get it to hold that angle the whole way down to the ground. Just get up there for a long putt. A little too much angle, but okay. That'll be like a 30-footer maybe. I know I said I was going to use the hydrogen as my putt and putter, but I want to see how the Zephyr putts. It doesn't feel great in the hand, but it doesn't feel terrible. It's mainly just because it's DX plastic, so it feels a little slick. But let's see what we can do. Oh, I pulled it. It stuck to my hand so bad. Oh. That was your one chance. You don't get another one after that. All right, guys, we're on hole 6. This one's a par 3, 303 feet. Basket straight ahead, but on this tee pad, you really got to decide which gap you want to go for. You got a forehand gap off the left, backhand gap off the right. I'm going to go for the backhand gap. I think I'm going to go with the Alien just because I feel like I can get it to hold straighter a little bit longer than the Scorpion, and I really need like a longer shot, I guess you'd say, on this hole than I can get out of the Scorpion. So see what we can do with the Alien. Pulled it just a little bit, but oh, we got lucky. Well, put myself to about 25 feet again, so I'm trying to make that putt now. Okay, so not a 25-footer, but still a tester. So still gotta focus through the putt. Oh man, I don't know if you can see that the wind coming off to the right got under it and lifted it. Dang, that felt like a good putt too. All right, guys, we're on hole 7. This one's a par 3, 230 feet, just straight ahead. Going slightly downhill, so I'm gonna go with the Zephyr this time. Throw it out a little bit out to the right, not too far. Just put on some hyzer, see if I can get to just finish back to the left near the end. Oh, pulled it. Oh, and it's flippy. Oh, it's super flippy. Okay, yeah, we're not throwing that for shots over 200 feet anymore. Considering how bad that shot felt, this isn't really that bad of a result. Probably like, what, 80 feet to the right side of the basket. We got to go over the next hole's tee pad. But we'll give it another shot. Just throw it smooth right at the basket and flat. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now the real question is, will this fit in the basket? It does. All right, guys, we're on hole 8. This one's a par 3, 207 feet. Basket's just dead straight ahead. The best play is either a hyzer over this tree off to the right or a straight shot over this tree straight between us and the basket. The throw the only disc I haven't thrown yet, just the Sonic. Just gotta give it some height and a little bit of hyzer. Luckily, this is the disc I know the best out of all of these, so should be able to get it there. Oh, it slipped out. I knew as soon as I said something about I should be able to get it there, I'm gonna hit a tree. That thing flies really nice when you don't try and throw it super hard. All right, guys, we're on hole 9, par 3, 240 feet, just dead straight ahead. We go with the Innova Alien just because it plays a little bit farther than it looks off the tee. Just gonna try and land it short, scoot up to it. Nothing crazy. Oh, pulled it. Fade for me. I might have that one tree in my way, but that'll probably be another 30-footer, I guess. Let's see. Yep, so I ended up right directly behind this one tree, but should be all right. Do a nice, comfortable straddle putt. Get there. Yes, there we go. All right, guys, so it looks like I'm actually gonna have time to play the back nine today too, so should be able to get this out in one single video. But right now we're on hole 10. This one's a par 3, 260 feet. Basket's up this way, slightly tucked off to the right. You've got a backhand route over here, but it's just super tight, and I don't really play it too often, so I'm not gonna go with that. I think I'm just gonna take the Alien, throw it out this way, give it some anhyzer and some height, and see if I can just get it to kind of drift back to the right and flatten out. Oh, too much. Well, it's flexing. Okay, that's probably like a 40-footer maybe? A lot better than I deserved off that shot. Oh, I slipped out. Dang it. Right on line, too. I know I keep saying the discs are slipping out, but I don't think it's gotten above 40 degrees yet today, so I just got to take better care of my hands, trying to make sure I've got good grip before I start throwing. All right, guys, we're on hole 11. This one's a par 4, basically 400 feet, just straight ahead on top of this hill. You can kind of see it just through these branches, but off the tee, just trying to hit this gap, get up there as close as we can, and hopefully give ourselves an easy approach shot. I'm gonna go with the Boreum, kind of the same shot I threw on hole 3. Just give it a little bit of hyzer, see if I can get it to pop up through the gap and fade off to the left. Kind of get through there. Woo! Oh, we got sneaky, got across the creek or whatever that ditch is, but looks like we got skipped to the left, so probably gonna be kind of cut off. Might not have a great approach shot in the green, but we'll see. All right, so my forehand angle is pretty much cut off, so I'm gonna try and go through this little gap I've got right here with the Scorpion. See if I can get it to skip for me. Oh, I pulled it. I'm pulling everything today. Holy crap. I'm on the next hole tee pad. Nice. All right, guys, we're on hole 12. This one's a par 3, 390 feet. You can see the basket through this left gap. I think I'm going to go with the Boreum down the right side. Just try and give it some hyzer. Just biggest thing, I don't want it to get up to flat, really, because then that kind of brings the OB baseball field off to the right into play. So I'm just going to try and hit this on some hyzer. If it fades out early, that's fine. Most of the time you have like a 200-foot approach shot from down there. So I'm just going to try that and see what happens. That felt really good. Okay, good. And I kept it low enough to where, ooh, that was a really nice skip. I wouldn't expect. Oh, and a beautiful roll too. I might have a putt. Dang. But yeah, it got up to flat, but it was low enough to where it wasn't in danger of going into the baseball field at all. I wasn't expecting it to skip that hard, but I mean, it is a 14 speed, I guess. So let's go make that putt. There we go. Wow. I was not expecting to get an eagle today. All right, guys, we're on hole 13. This one's a par 3, like 260 feet, just dead straight ahead behind this tree you can see in front of us. I probably would have gone with the Alien, but we've got a headwind, so I'm going to try the Scorpion. Just got to be careful in this hole because the creek's probably not even 30 feet left of the basket. I really don't want to have to go in the creek to get it. So just got to make sure to throw this plenty far out to the right and just let it run out of energy before it gets to the basket. Come on, skip. Okay, it tried to filter back to the left, but I'd probably be like on the side of that hill with like a 25 to 30 footer. Okay, so a little bit longer than I thought, but still got like a 20-foot putt left, so let's go ahead and make it. Ugh, man, I can't get. It feels like when I'm getting the spin on that thing, it'll zip. It will not drop at all. But if I don't pop it right, don't give it enough spin, that thing will not want to stay in the air at all. Granted, I was putting uphill, so with bad footing, so I wasn't able to get my legs into that putt as much as I would have liked. So just gonna keep that in mind for the next putt. All right, guys, we're on hole 14. This one's a par 3, 300 feet, just dead straight ahead. Biggest thing to pay attention to is got the creek off to the left that's out of bounds, and we've got a double mando right off the tee. So I'm gonna try and I think I'm gonna take the Scorpion, put it on some anhyzer through the gap, see if I can get bend off to the right, flatten out, push straight, because it's a pretty easy approach shot if I can get past this split tree right here on the right side. So just gonna try and do that, give myself an easy approach shot, but still gotta hit this gap. Just like that. I couldn't really see where they ended up, but it looks like we'll probably be. Might actually have a putt. I don't know. Let's see. I thought I said we might have a putt. I thought we might have like a 40-footer. I did not know we were going to be this close. Dang. Right, let's make it. A little bit of a headwind, but shouldn't be too big of a deal for this thing. Just give it some spin. Now I'll just pull it. Dang it. Blech. Ooh, that was a good catch. All right, guys, we're on hole 15. This one's a par 4, 540 feet. Basket's just straight ahead, slightly tucked off to the left on the other side of this hill. Only thing to really pay attention to is we've got a mando left of this tree right here. We'll go with the Boreum, hit it hard, flat, see what kind of distance we can get out of this. Haven't really got a chance to throw this hard and flat, so I'm be curious to see how this flies. We do have a right to left wind, so it's probably going to hold the turn a lot longer. I'm thinking it will. Just have to throw a little bit farther to the left. Oh, man. Oh, wow, that faded out of it so fast. That looked like he was going to just gently turn to the right for a long time, but then he just, zoop, just faded right out. It's pretty rare to be able to actually see the basket off after your tee shot. I'm probably like 150 feet out. Probably gonna play a little bit farther because the hill slopes away from us. But I'm like 20 feet past the Mando tree, so I would have said this probably went about 380, which is really nice for me, especially with how tight of a line it held throughout that entire flight. It didn't really go, but like probably what 15, 20 feet left to right for all that. So really nice flight out of that. But let's go ahead and get up and down, get this birdie. I like it. Yeah, probably gonna be short. I don't know. Every time I feel like I'm parked, I'm short and left. So we'll see. Hopefully I have a putt. All right, guys, we're on hole 16. This one's a par 3, 130 feet, right there. Not really too much to this hole. I'm gonna go with the Zephyr, throw on some hyzer out to the right, see if I can get the drift back to the left, and see if we can put in the bucket. Got a little bit of a headwind, so this is probably gonna not really want to go to the left at all, but let's see what we can do. Oh, come on. Oh, dang. I had the perfect line on it. Ah, man. All right, guys, we're on hole 17. This one's a par 3, 215 feet just straight ahead. There's a few different plays you can do in this hole. There's a forehand route up there. You kind of have to sneak through some trees, but the play I like to do is just go out to the right over the creek, something kind of overstable or something just stable that'll hold the angle, finish back to the left. I'm gonna try to do that with the hydrogen. We've got some right to left wind too, so that should help it. Just got to be careful about my speed control. Oh, it's too low. Dang it. That might be safe in the rocks, though. I don't know. We'll see. Got to make this to keep my bogey-free streak alive. I'm going to putt with the Halo Sonic. See what we can do. Oh, the tailwind dropped it immediately. Oof. All right, guys, we're on hole 18, final hole of the video. This one's a par 3, 295 feet, just dead straight ahead. Going slightly uphill, so it plays closer to like 310, 320, something like that. Biggest thing to pay attention to is the fence marks the OB on the left, right side, and behind the basket. So I'm tempted to go with the Boreum, but I don't really want to bring the OB into play. So I'm going to go with the Scorpion. Try and do kind of like the same shot I threw on hole 14. Yeah. Just give it some ante, see if I can get the flex out and just kind of push straight. Probably going to throw it a little bit off to the left. Hopefully it gets dragged to the right before it flexes out. That looks good. I flexed out really quick. Oh, man. That was awesome. All right, guys, that finished up a round out here at Century. Just to kind of run back through the disc, kind of give my final thoughts. Hydrogen, you need to try one of these. If you like straight glidey putters, this is for you. And if you don't mind the depth, this thing is awesome. It flies like a max weight glitch, in my opinion. And that's kind of what I was talking about when I first did my first review of these things. Like, they're just really nice. Hold whatever angle you put them on. Just super straight putters. Definitely worth a try if you don't mind the hand feel. Next, we've got the Zephyr, which is one of the most fun discs we played with today. Just like weirdly floaty, but didn't want to glide, if that makes sense. Like, it just kind of wanted to stay in the air and then just fall out of there. And it was a little bit flippier than I was expecting. Kind of like what you'd expect out of a disc like this. It's gonna kind of act like an ultimate lid, where it's just gonna kind of flip and never really want to like stable out or like hold the angle you put it on, unless you throw it like super soft, like I was in some of those soft approach shots. But like, this is like a really good disc for like catch before rounds, or if you have somebody you know that plays Ultimate a lot and you want to kind of introduce them to disc golf, this would be a really good disc because it's gonna fight the wind a lot better than like a Ultimate lid probably would, but it's gonna give them that same flight and feel that they're used to. Sonic, y'all already know how I feel about this thing. I really shouldn't have put it in here just because I knew I wasn't going to want to throw it as much because of how like the Zephyr and the Hydrogen Fly and like you know the whole reason for this is I want to try out different discs I haven't really thrown in a long time that are just kind of weird. But ultimately, you know, same thing for the Zephyr as the Sonic, super glidey, floaty, but doesn't really want to go very far on some soft shots. Surprisingly stable too. So if you're looking for something like the Zephyr, but like with the same width as regular discs, and you don't really mind the I don't know what you call that, like the dome thing, or you're looking for like a what do they call them, like a fastback type disc that's a little bit more stable, these things are pretty sick. Then we've got the Scorpion, which was probably my favorite disc that we play with today. Just really nice, glidey, kind of overstable, but I was able to get a nice amount of distance out of these. I think it was pretty clear to see that like those two beads that the things got on it have added some nice amount of overstability to a disc that probably would have been kind of like a slower T-bird probably, where with the beads this is probably more similar to like a slower eagle, I would say. But even with this thing being super wide, it feels extremely comfortable. Even with the bead, just feels really nice, really comfortable. As you could tell, like I was able to get used to this thing very quick and was able to get some really nice shot shapes out of it. So I don't know how rare these are. I mean, I think it's Japan Open. So who knows? But if this sounds fun to you, I definitely recommend these things. These things are nice. Then we've got the Alien, which I feel like kind of got overshadowed by the Scorpion a little bit, just because they're very similar. Just that the Scorpion's a little bit faster and a little bit more overstable. But this thing's extremely nice for just those like really straight shots that you want just like a touch of finish, or those turnover shots where you want it to flatten out near the end. I really don't notice the the sonic top on this thing that much, especially in a power grip. Biggest thing I noticed about this disc though is I would say it's the actual true 4-speed where it bridges the gap between putters and mids. As you can see, it flies more like a mid range than a lot of putters will, but it has the same distance as a really glidey putter. So it's really nice if you're looking for just like a disc you can hit hard and get mid-range flights out of, but don't want the distance of a mid-range. And then we've got the Boreum, which is probably the most unique disc out of all of them in the flight, which was really interesting to see because like with a lot of those other ones, like I mean they compare to each other, let alone other discs made by other manufacturers, stuff like that don't feel as weird or look as weird. But this one actually has a really unique flight where I can get it to turn a lot, but it's going to fade extremely hard and give me a really nice flex line, really good amount of distance. And as you can see on some of the other holes, I'm able to hit it on hyzer, get it to pop to flat, and then fade out pretty hard. And I would love to see, like, I should have thrown some like flex lines or distance lines with this thing just to see. This thing probably would bomb on like a flex line, giving it some anhyzer. And like, I don't really notice the I don't know what you call that, like the rounded off rim that much on this thing. It's something you do have to pay attention to because otherwise it would be pretty easy for this thing to just slip right out of your hands. But if you're paying attention to it, this thing does give you a really unique flight, a really nice flight. But I will say this is not a 14 speed. I would say it's closer to like a 10 or 11 speed maybe. The only thing that really comes to mind would maybe be like a beat-in Wraith or a beat-in Grace, something that will turn for you but has that like late stability to it. So if you look for something like that, I'd recommend these. But yeah, that's all I got. So thank y'all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and y'all have a good one. Bye.